The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk-adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, the Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to StrugglingArtistRecordClub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Struggling Artist Turntable. For this month is for February of 2025. With me, as always, Jeff Busquet, Chris Chavez, a.k.a. Gordon Shumway.
Yo.
If you know who Gordon Shumway is, then you know who won the X Factor.
But if you're old.
Yeah. If you don't, let's let you in on a little secret. Jeff's pick for Aliens won. You know, I was thinking, did we do Aliens before? But I think we did sci-fi.
We did sci-fi. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We did sci-fi, and then we did like monsters or something too, right? Oh no, it was just sci-fi.
It was just sci-fi.
Yeah. Because Chris, your pick for that one had like an alien in the name, and I thought it said Alan. I was like,
oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, it's been a month. Chris, you missed the last one we did.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I haven't really talked to you guys since then.
But you're okay. We're glad that you're okay.
Yeah, I'd had surgery and had pain medication, and so I had taken pain medication earlier in the evening and didn't realize it was going to knock me out, and I literally was just out. I woke up the next morning and had all these texts from Trev going like, "Hey, are you okay?" And we're going, we're ready for you. And I was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, that's
it was
right.
the worst.
Chris is back and he's good, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. We were worried. I even called you. I was like,
did you?
It's like, yeah, I might. So I like waited a minute and then I called and yeah. So we're happy you're healthy. We're happy you're here. We're happy you're smiling, and we're happy for Aliens.
Yes.
Yes. And we're happy that you're still video recording.
Yes. It worked.
Yeah. So, so this month, Aliens was the X Factor. We will get into that come that block for the X Factor. How's everyone doing? What's been going on? Anything?
Cool. Good? You heard about me.
We're all getting ready for the Struggle Dome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can we advertise it here? I don't know.
Yeah,
I want to be advertising.
Yeah.
This is one of them DM for an address type of scenarios.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You know.
I feel like I had.
Hello, fellow kids. Do you know where there's a punk show going on?
What'd you think of that artwork?
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Joe has high opinions of us because he keeps wanting to depict us as like knights and knight-ish figures of the round table, the Renaissance figures. But this is like Star Wars meets.
Well, have you seen Road Warrior? Have you seen any of the Mad Max films?
No.
Oh, so
I mean, I know how they dress kind of from like the trailers and pictures.
I haven't seen the artwork yet. You didn't send it my way.
It's not official yet because I think he's gonna tweak it some more for the conference. Yeah. But Jeff. So in Road Warrior, which is the second Mad Max film, there's a guy who he's got like this he's got a mohawk. He's got like a passenger with him all of the time. Who it's like it's very like I don't know. It's very like dom and sub because like he's got like a leash on the person. You know?
Well, the whole vibes of the whole thing are like
Oh, hell yeah.
wildly sexualized.
Yeah. So like, so that was the character, and they had he has like a mannequin thing attached. Like he has like a mannequin head on like a spike that's on top of his gear. That's who I think your character was. Yeah,
Great.
it was cool.
Fantastic.
It was cool.
Are these a new movie? Wait, was there just one movie from the 80s?
No, there was 3.
So there were 3 from the 80s and then the remakes from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, so the ones from a couple years ago were ones that George, like, well, maybe not the first one, Fury Road, that's like the newest or the second newest one. He wanted to make that in the 80s, but he didn't have the technology to do it. So
Got it.
the first one was very low budget. Very low budget. So, and then the Furiosa came after that. I just watched that one the other night.
Well, I'm going to have to do my homework because Joe has immortalized us. But I was looking at it like, this is cool. It's like Star Wars meets Camelot.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I'll share that with you in a little while.
Cool.
I'm embarrassed because I know of the Mad Max series, but it's just one I never happened to consume.
Yeah, I was like, the 80s, and it's dystopian. It was like it's what drew my love in for dystopian like back settings for like film and like books and stuff like that. So so it was so anyway, back to the real thing. March 22nd, live at the Struggle Dome here at the Struggling Artist Studio. Jeff Bousquet will be with his guitar and playing us some awesome music. And so will Your Friends in Hell and the Gloom Trio Coffin Salesman. So yeah, you got to slide in them DMs if you wanna
DM for address.
Yeah, if you want the address
or ask a punk.
I'm kind of nervous because we've had 20 people in here, right, Chris? We had about 20 people.
Chris, are you gonna come?
I'm hoping to, yeah, for sure.
Sweet.
It's literally on my calendar to do.
Yeah, so I'm just nervous.
So, barring any medical things that may come up.
Hell yeah!
Too many people showing up might be. I don't know how that.
You can set my camera up as a second one if you're gonna record it.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
Considering the one I'm using right now is a piece of crap. We'll work on that later.
We'll use that as the backstage camera. That lo-fi look.
The drum cam.
There you go.
Guys, I have to so in my, like I said, I freaked out at 4 a.m. and bought 2 video cameras, but I have to say too, I've been really budgeting very well lately. And, I don't know what happened in January, but I was like, let me write down my list of like records that I bought in January. I bought 20. Well, I received 20 records in January. 5 of them were like part of like a barter like work deal, so I didn't pay for those 5. But I purchased 15 goddamn records, and I'm like, this is too much. If I was to track my digital stuff, like I would be like appalled.
You might have a problem, Trev.
I do. I might.
Hey, better than giving it to fucking Spotify. So
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, that's how I justify when I got rid of Spotify. I'm like, I can just buy an extra album now every month from Bandcamp,
There you go.
Yep.
But I think 15 was way too much. It just happened. And February I'm going for 0. Except for my record club, whatever.
I'll never go for 0. That's
Nah.
no.
Well, I'll do digital albums.
You gotta treat yourself, dude.
I do 20 records.
That's overindulging yourself.
I don't think I even have room for 20 more in my setup. I got to get bigger furniture.
That's a lot. I've got I got some room still. So when I don't have room, that's going to be the real issue.
You just start hanging them on the wall. Like
I already, those are my test pressings and my variants, and we'll do that stuff. But anyway, tell me, any shows? Have you guys hit up any shows?
Well, I was hanging out with the OC45 boys last weekend. Almost two weekends ago.
Yeah,
now.
almost 2 weekends.
Who did a little reunion run. Played a benefit show to raise money for a gentleman named Bob Gibson, who's a friend of theirs that used to put him up when they'd go through Detroit. He played in the band Shark Fist, I believe, is the name of his band, among others. So he kind of tragically passed away back in the fall, and they had a series of benefit shows for him over the weekend. One down in Kingston, New York, and one in Boston at the old Midway Cafe. And kind of got inspired to document as much of it as I could, and also do some interviews to kind of see if we could make a little band doc for OC45's legacy. I don't know if we'll be seeing. We might be seeing them occasionally playing a show here and there, which would be cool. But definitely was a good trip down. Like, felt like old times, hanging out with everybody and crewing with everybody. We rolled down to New York with a big crew and had a big Airbnb and
Nice.
played the show there, and then came back and did the Midway, and friends came in from Canada, friends came up from Florida, friends came in from Detroit. We saw all of our homies from New York from Jukebox Romantics.
Nice.
And Chumhuffer and Sketchy. It was a Kyle Tricola. It was a big affair. So sad circumstances. But the punks turn out to take care of each other. Yeah. So it was nice to see that for sure.
That's awesome. I went to the Midway show. What a good time. What a blast. Unfortunately, I had to leave before the end because there was a lot of snow in my area, in my neck of the woods at that point. I'm like, I got to get back. But it was a really good time. All sorts of people were there. It was cool.
Yeah.
You know, Nat and Becky were there from.
They were there to. They came up to do some guest vocals with One Fall, so they were there. Danny, our buddy Danny, came out from Colorado. Rachel Taft from Feed the Scene came. Rachel and Kaylee from Feed the Scene came up from Baltimore. It was a good. People turned out. It was really fun.
It was so right after that. I want to say it was like the next day or maybe it was last week. I interviewed somebody for the podcast, and their band's playing a benefit for Bob this weekend with like a lot of those, his old band there.
Out in Michigan?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. So, so he touched a lot of people, it seems like,
Yes. Yeah. Sadly, I only got a chance to meet him once very briefly at the Ilix, but he was a good dude, and everybody was really, really, really devastated. So
So Chris, I know you've been going to shows left and right, it seems like.
Just a couple. Only a couple since surgery, but I went to a show. I went and saw one of the bands we're talking about tonight. I went and saw with a couple of other bands at the Mohawk Place, our legendary punk venue here in Buffalo that's closing down tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day it's open. It sucks. Yeah, dude, they're having some struggles, and they have to close. So it's the end of an era. But I went to a show, and it was awesome. And if that's the last show I was going to be at, then so be it. It was awesome. It was a good time, and we'll talk about it more. But On the Cinder was played. That was a great set. Those guys are killer.
Love those guys.
There's another hardcore band from out here called Holdout, and they were awesome. And the other band we're going to be talking about tonight.
Excuse me.
Hell yeah.
Right on. Cool. All right, well, let's take a quick break, and we'll come back with our local picks. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back with our local picks. Jeff, and we know how we do this. You won our poll, so you get to go first. You know what we didn't do in the intro? We didn't talk about what we're doing. That's okay. I think everyone knows by now what the Turntable is. And if you're,
I think they do.
if you're
Yes.
brand new at listening, and this is the first episode, don't go back. Listen to some other things.
Oh, we got lots of good ones.
You will know exactly what we're doing. Cool. All right, Jeff, let's start with your local pick.
My local pick was Mourne, Morne. They're a metal band from here in Boston. Their EP was called Engraved with Pain. I guess we're calling it an EP. But they have several tunes on here that are 11 minutes long. So it's technically a 5-song record, but it spans a good, I don't know, 30 something 40 minutes. So maybe it's a record, I've found myself in a headspace of really wanting to put music on lately for obvious reasons, to put music on that just takes me away on a sort of journey through something. And so this isn't not necessarily stated explicitly as a concept record or anything like that necessarily, but when you got an 11-minute metal epic, it just takes you somewhere. This whole record from start to finish is like a story to me. I don't know. And I fucking love it. Their bio is, lists them as somewhere in between atmospheric doom, crossing a whole bunch of different lines of ethereal metal. But they're heavy as fuck. And this record just took me out of my head in the exact way that I needed. Bummed these guys are playing, I believe in May at AS220 down in Providence, but it's the same weekend as Poozza Fest. So, probably not going to be able to make it, which is a bummer. Hopefully they will play again locally soon, but would really love to see these guys. This record just hit exactly in the way that I needed at the present time. It's from 2023, I believe, but yeah, it's Engraved with Pain, and you should check it out.
Nice, dude. Yeah, I liked this a lot. I don't remember if I said, I think I wrote in the chat
you were stoked.
Yeah, this was really good. And then there's a lot of different sounds in here, kind of like what you were just saying. I got the sludgy, doomy melodies, and then there's old school metal solos in there.
Yeah.
That were awesome. And and then a lot of it reminded me of the mid 90s Sepultura era. And just with the drums and the bass, and I enjoyed this one. And I want to see them. So they're from here, right? You said they're from here.
They're Boston based.
Yeah.
They've been around since I believe 2005.
Okay.
Yeah. And they have several overlapping members, I think, too, with some other big, fairly well known heavy bands in the area.
Yeah. This was really when I was getting into metal. It was sounding stuff like this then. So
yeah,
I'm a fan of it. I want to check them out for sure. They have vinyl. Is this on vinyl?
They do. They have it on a dark red marbled vinyl, which I'm gonna pick up myself.
See, I just said I can't buy any vinyl in February.
Well, it's not February yet.
Yeah.
There you go.
I got one more day.
Yeah, dude, this was definitely heavy. As I was listening to it, dude, it was this. First of all, it was going and it was building up, and it was taking this kind of long intro, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, so I pull my phone up to look at it more closely, and because I wanted to see if it was just an instrumental, you know what I mean, metal instrumental. So, and then I see 10 minutes or something like that, 10 minutes and 30 something seconds for the first song, and I was like, oh, that's what we're about to do. So I just sat back and was just like, oh, this is just beautiful. It's just it's ferocious. It's cavernous sounding. It's I don't know. It's primal, dude. It's got such a great sound, and it definitely does also set a mood, right? That's the thing I like about it. Both of your picks, literally feel like they're soundtracks or a score to something. And this could be like the score to like a battle of Norse gods or Vikings, or like, it's insane. It just sounds so badass, dude. As soon as like that first song was done, I bought it. I didn't even hear the rest of the other 3 songs. I just bought it. I'm like, yep, I'm in. This is it. Yeah, huge fan. I'm a big fan of that album. That was great.
Right on. Right on. Chris, let's talk about your local pick.
My local pick is one of the bands I saw recently, and the live performance, I'm going to tell you right now, just solidified the fact that I love this band. It was a good time. But this band is a Buffalo hardcore band. The name of the band is called Do Crime. The name of the album is Do Crime. It's an EP. And it's exactly what it is. What I just said. It's Buffalo hardcore. There's a little bit of, speed energy in there. There's definitely that grimy kind of, gravelly vocals that are just shouting at you. There's something about the band, though. There's something about the way he sings and kind of the melodies that he throws in with his singing. Torsten is the singer. The way it kind of melds with the way his voice sounds and the rest of the band. I don't know, man. When I first heard the EP, I was just like, oh, I love this. I love this sound. I love this feeling. There's a little bit of a nostalgic feel to it, but still kind of fresh. And then the more I listened to it, the more I was a fan of it. I included one of the songs, Changes, on Struggling Artist Radio Show recently, and I just loved it. So when I went and saw him live, it was just like, that was it. Once I saw him live, I was just listening to this album nonstop since. And I love it, dude. I feel like it's high energy. It's from beginning to end high energy. It doesn't slow down at all. And it's quick. It just 6 songs, and I think it's under 10 minutes, 9 minutes, something like that. It's a good time. It's a good time in a small package. So go Do Crime.
I enjoyed this one. What my biggest complaint was? That I wanted more. Right? I wasn't done. I wasn't done with this yet. So we all I say all the time, like, I don't know the subgenres and stuff like that, but like, I didn't really think of this as hardcore. I just thought of this as like punk rock that I like. You know what I mean? I don't know. I guess because there was more melodic terms in it. Mm-hmm. I dug the vocals, though. The vocals was like total wheelhouse for me. They sound real tight, and I bet, I know you saw them recently, so I know, it conveys through this studio EP. I bet they are a blast to see live.
They were great.
The energy was coming through the studio album, which you don't always get that, right? You don't always get the vibe of what a band is. Totally on board with this. You've sent me something from them in the past. And I
believe it was this. I believe I sent you this EP when I first got it.
Oh, maybe. It was a while ago then, right?
It was June 2024.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
That was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
Or at least it felt like it. Yeah. No, I was a fan of this one. I want more from them. I can't wait to hear more from them.
Yeah.
I hope they're doing stuff. Have you had them on 716 The Sound yet?
No, that's the goal. The goal is to reach out and get a few of them on the show for sure.
Yeah, because this was just really, it's just a lot of fun to listen to, and it just made me I'm like, yes, this is just to me, it was just this is the epitome of punk rock. This is what I want, this is something that I want to hear. So, it was a little bit harder than the street rock and roll kind of stuff that I normally gravitate to, but that's good for me when you mix things up like that. And that's why I still think this, much like we're going to talk about when we get to my local pick, this was wheelhouse for me in that little bit of a harder sense,
Yeah.
Total fan.
Nice.
Dude, I feel like I listened to this and immediately was unsurprised. I feel like you always have absolutely just killed it with the Buffalo hardcore. So many times on different episodes we've done with different bands you've brought, just clearly such a great punk and hardcore scene out there. Just made me want to be at a venue like you just described. That your spot out there. That's, would you say it's called the
Mohawk Place?
The Mohawk, the Mohawk Place. Yeah. Yeah. It just immediately made me want to be in a pit. You know. It's not. I feel like it's not pulling any super crazy punches. It's not throwing any, curveballs as far as the genre goes.
Mm-hmm.
But it does what it does extremely well. Super enjoyable record. And they'd be a really fun band to see like at the Midway or like in a handful of venues around here. I mean, I think they'd be great on a bill with like Oh the Humanity or a handful of our friends. They kind of toe that line between it's like melodic hardcore, I guess we'd say, right? And but yeah, man, every time I just feel like Buffalo just cranks them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I want you guys to come out for a visit. Go see some live music, man.
We got to plan something.
We really do.
I don't want to go to Buffalo in the winter. I'm sorry.
No. When it's beautiful out.
In the summertime, I'm going to go to Niagara Falls.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll get stuck there for like 3 weeks. If I go in the winter. Also, I want to say too, like, just because like it's not what I think of with hardcore, that I don't think it's hardcore, right? We all know I'm very like, I'm just like, yeah, it's just music. Like like it doesn't need to have a title for me. It just has to. Yeah. It's just music, and I love it. So I just want to get that, like, because it definitely is harder than a lot of things, you know what I mean? For me, like, I'm like, oh yeah, it's kind of like when we listened to when Mike was still with us, and Mike is still with us.
Oh God,
he is good. He is very good. He was still on the show, and he had said he brought the Boy Detective, and you remember when I was like, this isn't ska punk, and I got mad. I was like, because they have horns, that doesn't mean they're ska punk. Like, this is the same thing as that. Like, it's just like, to me, it's just really good music, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I just want to throw that little disclaimer out there. I don't want to piss off Do Crime. I really enjoy their stuff. So, with that said, let's get to my local pick out of Manch Vegas, right? Is that what they call Manchester?
Yeah, Manch Vegas.
Yeah. The Grenadiers. I've had Nick on the show, and I think I've brought the Grenadiers to one of the older Turntable episodes, but they put out a new EP like towards the end of 2024 called Shine, and it is so good. Nick may be one of my favorite songwriters at this point, from New England at this point. Like, he doesn't miss. He does not miss with what he puts out. I mean, he's also done his, like, he's been in the Hudson Falcons. Like, he's done some stuff, so it doesn't surprise me that he wrote this EP and it just like doesn't miss, right? Yeah. It's very much punk and roll, right? It's got that rock and roll tinge to it. He's always had that. It's great. This band, like I said, they don't miss. My biggest complaint is Shine isn't on Bandcamp. I think this is the first time, or maybe the second time, that I brought stuff that wasn't on Bandcamp. I know they were doing shows and they had a limited run of 7 inches for this. And they were only selling them at shows, which is awesome because you get people to go to shows, right? I hope I get to see them while they still have some, because I really, really want this. I really want to own this, whether it's digitally or whatever. And like, I probably could buy it off of iTunes. Right now, I have an Apple Music subscription that was free for like 3 months. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, yeah, sure. And I'm happy I had it, because I wouldn't have been able to listen to this right now, unless it's on iTunes to buy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Same thing with my X Factor pick, actually. It's not on Bandcamp as of right now. So I'm just trying to give these people the most money I can for their, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to give them, I think I keep saying it, but it's like a lot of people must be into fractions, like they just don't like whole numbers. Yeah. So I don't know, but it's sometimes it's tough too, right? Because I don't know if DistroKid or any of those other services put it on Bandcamp for you, or if you got to do that yourself. Like, it's just an extra. It's like me with social media. I don't want to always do it.
I think Bandcamp is usually a DIY, but unless you have a label or distribution doing it for
you. Right. But and I think that's the case with the next one. Like, it's because they went through a label, so it can't go on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this, I don't know. Like I said, this was an awesome EP. This is like another tight band, and they are like the epitome of what I consider like New England street rock. You know, is what these guys are.
Yeah.
And they're still doing it, and that's awesome. So.
Yep.
No.
Oh, am I going?
Oh,
No,
I don't.
all right.
Yeah, I'll go. Dude, I enjoyed this as well. This one, I had the same complaint that you had about Do Crime, was that I wanted more, because this was only 4 songs. I was like, oh, that's it? Like, come on, because this was already it was like just getting going for me. I say this a lot with a lot of bands, but this one again brought kind of a nostalgia feel to me, because there was like different sounds from the past that I heard in some of these songs, the influence of it. You know what I mean? It was great though. I loved it. Great energy, tight band, sounds great too. Now I'm not a sound aficionado. Like I can't hear like the most minute of details when it comes to music, but when it comes to the production of albums, I can tell when something sounds really good, right? Like sonically it sounds good. And I liked this. I thought this EP sounded pretty good for what they were doing. So yeah, dude, this was solid bring.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the same. This was like polished as fuck, like pro as fuck, energetic, came right out of the gate, like this big, dense, well like crafted sound. I love the big synchronized harmonies, vocal lines that they're doing throughout it. The hooks are just stellar. It's just it's a model like melodic punk record in every way. I find myself being much more like you were saying, Trev, like, and it's especially even like with heavier stuff too, even like what I was saying earlier with Morn, like I'm definitely the type of person that just wants to be like, that's just music. I don't know. It's music. It sounds like music. There's guitars and just screaming and vocals and like whatever. The more and more you say things like, this is melodic punk, this is post-hardcore, the stupider I feel. The more I try to categorize things, the dumber I feel.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm talking about. I am not a scholar in any way. But it was just like energetic and fucking fun to listen to. And I was driving in my car. I listen to a lot of our picks every month when I'm driving, because that's typically when I can kind of focus in on it. But I feel like this month in particular, I just happened to, over this past like couple weeks, was really doing a lot of our listening in the car during commutes and things. And some of that music is, it's like the most fun to listen to. It's arguably more when it's summertime, but like when you're in your car and you're like, I just want to like just fucking blast this shit. And yeah, great record.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we will get into our X Factors. We'll be right back. We are back, and it is time for our X Factors. This month, Jeff picked Aliens for our poll, and he won. I forgot what everyone else picked. Chris, you picked like Heart, right? Heart.
It was really off the cuff.
I'm sure.
Probably. I don't remember if this was like Rage. I don't remember which one I picked, but I felt like when you first said Heart, I was like, oh, I'll pick Brain.
Was it Heart? What was it that I picked? I don't remember.
And I'll pick Courage.
Yes, exactly what I thought about. So, yeah. And I could have picked like anyway, that was stupid. But yeah, that's what I was going with. But then like Aliens came up, so I just went in another direction too. Completely. So it's all right, because none of those won. What won was Jeff's pick, which was Aliens. Tell us about Aliens. Why?
Tell us about Aliens. Well, I mean, the last time I was hanging out with them.
Why did Aliens come to mind?
No, it was just really off the cuff. I don't remember why. We had been talking about. I recommended that movie to you last time we were chatting. Last episode we did.
By the way,
and I had watched it.
I have to go back and watch the rest. I didn't finish it yet, but
what movie? What movie?
The Vast of Night.
Okay, I gotta look this up.
It's on Amazon. It was
I liked
an alien movie.
I liked a lot of it. I was like it's very dialogue driven, and
it's
my type.
It's written very like interestingly, but I love the like 1950s like radio and recording and like switchboard. Like it's very like tech. I don't know.
This is on my list. I've seen the trailer for this.
A lot of continuous shots too that I liked.
Yeah, the cinematography is incredible, and it was a really low budget film.
It was really.
It was super. The guy shot it like in his hometown or part of his hometown. Like he's like just this dude from Oklahoma, I think, that like has made a couple movies now and like done really well. And like but it was a super low budget, self funded project or independently funded project. Anyway, this is completely off topic. I don't know. It was on my mind. It was Aliens. It was on my mind for some reason. And as we started before we started recording. I think the biggest reason is that I would be thrilled if we had an invasion right now, and literally anything to derail
what's happening,
our real reality, where it's going. Please, if anyone's intercepting this,
take us now.
Come and take us. Come and invade. Give us something to do.
Welcome.
Please. Give something to take us away from all this, but
take some of our leaders too. Like just take them away.
Just annihilate them. Yeah.
Vaporize.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably gonna be on the list now.
Yeah.
If that's okay, I would have been eventually anyway. So yeah, Aliens was my pick, and here's the irony of my stupid brain is that I picked that, and then was procrastinating all the way up until last week, or the beginning of this week, and didn't know what I was going to do for my Alien pick. And then all of a sudden remembered that I had seen this artist on Instagram that I think I had even actually shared with you guys a while back, or at least one of you, because I was like, this is fucking sick. And then I was, when you see something on like a social media, but then you don't remember what the username was, and you're like trying to find a keyword that'll bring it up, and like you're trying to search for it.
Yeah.
Well, I did find it. And it is, the artist is, Behold. He spells it BE//HOLD, like B/hold. He is a Brooklyn based artist, but this record is called Where They Landed. And he promoted some of the songs in some Instagram reels, very similar to the way Dream Kid did, with a bunch of his stuff, where he basically was like, there's a caption and it's like, aliens have just like, POV, aliens have just landed in the woods of Appalachia and they're not friendly. And then like was like showing some video clips of him and how he built the song and like how all the different synths and instruments he's playing on the song. So he's mixing like a dark 80s sci-fi synth vibe with banjo, and I believe some mandolin, and then there's definitely some guitar parts in there, of course, but I'm pretty sure that it might just all be banjo. I don't know what he's doing, because he's using all kinds of effects and pedals and stuff. But
there's guitar, like regular.
There's definitely guitar, but I feel like I
acoustic,
hear mando in there too. I feel like
I see what you're
some
saying.
mandolin in there.
I think so.
And I'm not sure if it's just weird shit he's doing with the banjo to make it sound that way, or if it's mandolin. But this record, fucking love this. And again, just being in that headspace of needing to like put music on, close my eyes, lay down on the floor, and turn the lights down and like go to another place. And this record explicitly says on Bandcamp, this is essentially a soundtrack to a film that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
About aliens invading Appalachia and landing in that region, and sort of in the woods, and like the lore and the dark mythos that kind of surrounds that region. Don't know if this kid's originally, maybe he's originally from there and he's based out of Brooklyn now. I don't know, but dude, if you listen to this record, fucking kicks ass. Trev, I want you to write the movie to this. Like,
I got to
think
write
that
a
would
lot
be-
of movies for you.
I know you and Caitlin, you and Growler gotta get up on some movie writing. But yeah, I mean, I think it's right there and it's begging to be written, right? It is very similar to what Boy Harsher did. In fact, some of his synth loops and his stuff reminded me quite a lot of Boy Harsher stuff. And it's what they did with kind of like writing the soundtrack to a horror movie, essentially. So yeah, I think this could make a great movie. But yeah, it's awesome.
Nice. Yeah. So you sent that text yesterday, and I was so lost. I'm like, when who?
Yeah, I knew. I knew you were confused at first.
And then I listened to it because I hadn't listened to it yet. So then I started listening to it, and I'm like, oh, this is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I had a chance to listen to it last night while I was at work, just working by myself, and it was cool. Yeah, I was like, yeah, this is a score. This is like a score to a film. Now, my hard pitch would be like, there's like, and I hate saying B horror movies or B sci-fi movies, but they're out there, right?
Right.
We have them. And like, there's movies that have been made that were like, I don't know, like Mega Shark versus Three-Headed Shark,
Yeah.
you know, like stuff like that. This would be like Aliens versus The Deliverance. Like this.
Yeah.
In this, I'm like, this is crazy. Because again, like I didn't read it where it said Appalachia. I'm like, this isn't gonna happen in New York.
Yeah. No, it's
Here. So when I read into it a little more, I'm like, oh, so I could just see like, you just take like the baddest of the bad from Deliverance and pin them up against like the worst aliens ever, and just see who lives, right? Who's gonna live from that? And it was very. I mean, it's meant to be atmospheric, but it was like I could visualize what was going on. I could see it. You know, I could feel it. I think the banjo. I've never heard a banjo with synth before.
no, me neither.
And I think that really kind of brought me into those two worlds, right? Those two worlds colliding. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Now, I mean, this is for me. This wouldn't be something I'd listen to all the time. I'm happy that you brought it, and I'm happy I had a chance to listen to it. And maybe I'll pitch the creator of this an idea and see what they say. I don't know. We'll see. I got a lot.
Or at the least have him on the show.
We could definitely do that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, dude, this. As soon as it well, first, before I even hit play, I read the little info on it where it says this is the soundtrack, the score of an alien invasion movie in the Appalachia. So I'm listening to it, and I did exactly what you're talking about, Jeff. Like I put my earbuds in, and I laid back on the couch, and I closed my eyes, and like one of the first things you start to hear is like it literally brings you into this world. It sets a soundscape. You can hear like the chirping of birds and like crickets and like you could literally hear that, and then that banjo, and you're like, oh, like I feel like I'm going down a swampy river. Like, you know, this is here we go. But when that 80s synthy stuff starts kicking in, and that like, oh, that was it, dude. There's there's droning happening, there's pulsating, so I know you would you
Like
say
little
Trev?
voices in there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's
Yeah.
voices
The sound
too.
design elements are like,
oh god, dude.
Oh yeah, that
Help me. There's one part that's like saying help me or something like
Yeah.
that. Like,
and then it goes run.
yes,
Yeah.
dude. Dude, and when you're sitting there with your eyes closed, getting lost in it, like it's in your head. It's insane.
Yeah.
Would you say, Trev, this was crossed what? You crossed Deliverance and
Deliverance,
Aliens?
Well, an alien movie.
This
I
to
don't know.
me feels like if Stranger Things took place in Appalachia. Like
Right.
that's what it feels
Right.
like to me. It feels like you could see the kids on the bicycles, but this time they're out in the mountains, the Blue Mountains, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Or like a group of people who live there who are like your sort of average working class folks in
Yes.
this region, like up
Yes.
against fighting for their lives.
maybe like
to,
the coal mining family.
save
you know?
humanity. You know what I mean? And
Yes,
it's like
dude.
it's. I don't know if either of you ever listened to the podcast Tanis which was
it sounds very familiar.
It's a Pacific Northwest Stories narrative podcast, so it's like a radio play podcast. He did the Black Tapes, I think they were called. It was also a podcast.
Yeah.
Canadian production company. Some of the background loop sound design elements that were in there kind of reminded me of some of the stuff he did with Tanis, like while he was telling that story, and that just like kind of creep you out, and you're like, ooh, like what was that? This record is brilliant. I love absolutely
it,
brilliant.
The one thing I have to disagree with you on, Trev, is for me, I could definitely listen to this all the time. Hell yeah.
It's a mood. I mean, it's a vibe for sure.
Hell yeah. But I'm always in that vibe, dude. I'm always in that kind of mood. Yeah. Give it to me anytime.
Chris, you saying like the voices. I forgot about that. I wanted to mention it. I was at work. I was in our
that had to creep you out.
I was in one of our labs or workshops by myself, and I walk in. We have a room that's like off the side, and that's where all the tools are. And as soon as I walked in there, I went to the end of the room, and I turned around to look for something, and I hear "Help me!" I'm like, "What the?" And the run. I'm like, "Come on!"
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a good one, man. That was
heck
good.
Yeah, dude.
Cool. All right, Chris.
All right, my next pick for my alien, I went literal and searched the word alien on Bandcamp to see what came up. And, I listened to some things here and there, and some of them were like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool, or, oh, this is kind of a punk band. And I was like, I don't want to do the same kind of thing. And I came across this, and I started listening, and I was like, okay, this is my kind of, I like this when I'm not doing the hardcore or the punk or the metal or any of that. Like, this is kind of like where I like to flow to. So I found this artist, Alien Skin, and the album's called Discotheque Asylum. And basically, and then when I looked a little bit deeper, I found out that the Alien Skin, this artist, he was in the Australian new wave synth band Real Life in the 80s. They had a chart-topping hit called Send Me an Angel. You guys said you hadn't heard it before, but I'm sure there's people out there who've heard that and recognize it. But when you go back and you listen to that song Send Me an Angel, you can hear like he still loves that kind of era and that realm of dark electro kind of synth wave, you know what I mean? And it's got almost like that kind of like dancey pop feel of that 80s synth sound, that dark synth sound. I'm a huge fan of it. I love it. And this one, again, because it has that kind of throwback sound, but still it's a fresh, that doesn't even make sense. It's fresh and has like, just, I don't know. It just sounds so crisp and so clean and so dark. I love it. Absolutely love it. I love electro. I love dark synthwave music, and this one's right there. The vocals on it I love. I love the sound of his voice. All of it from beginning to end. I love this one. Alien Skin, Discotheque Asylum.
So I wrote techno goth at first, and then I wrote,
yeah, very gothy.
Then I wrote techno goth vampire club type shit from the movie Blade.
Dude, when I was listening, I thought of Blade, and I thought of what was the other movie that came to mind, and I was like, this would be The Crow. This would be perfect in The Crow.
Yeah. So we don't always agree on things with this show. And
that's okay.
Yeah, this is one of those things. It wasn't for me. It annoyed the shit out of me, and I think
that's a little harsh.
Here's the thing. It didn't do it right away, right? By the time I realized, by the time I was like, okay, I'm done with this, it was on the last song. So I was like, I might as well just finish it off, right? It's not my type of music. I don't like that techno stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like electro. I like synth a lot, but I don't like that other stuff, that adjacent stuff. I don't like house music. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't like, to me, they all sound the same. Not taking away anything from this artist, because I don't dislike, if I was an aficionado of this music and didn't like it, then that would be a different story. I don't know this music, I also have a weird, auditory issue sometimes where when it's late at night, like certain sounds just bother me, and that could have been what was going on because it was like 2 a.m. when I'm at work, but like it's like 2 a.m. You know what I mean? So like I won't vacuum after when the sun goes down because it annoys me. The sound annoys me. I don't know why.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I have some weird auditory issues and like yeah, so it could have been a combination of the things, but like at the end of the day, this wouldn't have been for me regardless. It didn't sound bad. Like I said, I wasn't really annoyed with it until like I was almost done with it with the EP. So
yeah, electro's not your thing.
Nah, just not really my thing. Maybe it was from all the electroshock, that I got as a kid. But no, but yeah. So, but it just wasn't for me. It sounded like it was like pro, like you know what I mean. Like it was very good at what it was. But that unfortunately just isn't for me. So, yeah, I won't be tagging him.
Oh, Chris, I feel bad because I wanted to like this one more than I did a little bit. I like a lot of parts of it. I really do like dig those goth dark wave synth vibes, which is what I thought it was going to be, and I think it was a little too dancey, like not even dancey. That's not even the right word. Like Trev was saying, like there's a techno repetitiveness to it.
Yeah.
That sets it apart a little bit from like say like a House of Harm or Mercy Ruin or certainly Homefront. That's like a different, but like
even like Green Kid, like
a lot of the dark wave synth stuff that we have had on the show. This definitely had something that it was too clubby, like a little too.
Yeah,
clubby
this is more dancey, definitely more dancey.
It was just like kind of like too, like the techno vibes were like a little too. That said, I think there is absolutely a huge audience for this, right? Like there is a big industrial techno goth world out there that, I think for fans of that, if you happen to be listening to the show, if you're a fan of that, I think you'd love this record. So, they don't all land in like, we want to listen to this category, but I think there's definitely positives to be found about it. It was a quite well produced record. And now that you mentioned like this artist is not his first rodeo.
Yeah, it's not his first go round. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I thought it was definitely an interesting listen. It was a really, I thought it was a wild sort of approach to it. But one of the things I did want to mention is that even in this, I almost found soundtrack vibes, like something, because just whenever you have, I mean, it maybe more so when it's instrumental, but not so, because Morn's record has metal vocals in there, but like almost everything we kind of brought this time around, had at least some overlap in a Venn diagram of like kind of concept storyline taking you on some sort of a journey through. And I even heard that in this record as well. And I also really love the name. Discotheque Asylum is a fucking great record name. So, it wasn't for me personally, but but definitely like a very interesting thing.
Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say, let me ask you this: do you guys, whenever we bring stuff and you hear something that somebody brings that you're just like, oh, this ain't my thing, do you feel bad? Does it make you feel bad? Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, why? Is it because you feel like you're like?
I think because for me, it's because art is subjective, wholly. Like it's wholly subjective, and like I'm very like, I grew up liking a lot of music that I had friends and other people I knew that'd be like, that sucks. Emo sucks. This sucks. Like whatever. And I'd be like, no, it doesn't suck. You just don't like it. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's fine. You don't have to like everything. I don't like listening to fucking, Kenny Chesney. Like they're, like.
It's funny. It's funny because I wonder. It's funny because you guys are just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. I wrote the album, right? Like I wrote it, and I'm like, here, guys, listen to my opus."
The the other
I
side
think I
of
also
that
get
too-
excited, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I know you like it, and I don't want to like be like, oh,
It was the pick because it was X Factor. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I know,
one of the better
yeah.
ones that I found, at least for me, right? And that's it wasn't because I was like, oh, guys, you gotta hear this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think we all do know that feeling of being like so stoked on something you found and like wanting to share it with other people.
Oh yeah,
And
that
so
was due crime for me.
I don't want to like squash anybody else's like
Yeah, no.
stoke, you know. But
Well, that wasn't this one. This one was. I
Yeah.
mean, this one's fun. I like that '80s dance. I enjoy it, but like, I wasn't like, oh my
Yeah.
god, can't wait till you guys hear this.
Also, I want to say like that first track, maybe even the first 2 tracks, is what gave me that like Blade vibe, and I was like, cool.
Yeah, definitely. But then it does change a little later.
Yeah, but like also like I don't know, maybe if I took some Molly or MDMA, or X, I would like it a lot more. I don't know. I've never really fucked
Yeah.
with those drugs. You know what I
I'm
mean?
about to go do ayahuasca and listen to the Behold album again.
yeah.
From what I'm told,
So
just don't
good.
do Datura. Datura is the bad one. The
Okay.
really bad one. Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, stay away from that. That's a plant too, by the way. So you can find it anywhere.
It literally says
They're all
deter.
plants.
It literally says deter in it.
Yes.
Stay away.
Literally every drug is a plant.
I was told you're gonna see the devil every
Oh
time.
God,
Every
no
time.
thanks.
You know. So anyway, we're getting off topic. Sorry.
I don't know. I got a few things I want to say to him, but
I guess. It's
Well, I
time.
think you know where to write the White House. Oh,
I
sorry.
guess it's time for mine. Once again, this was not on Spotify right now. Their other stuff is there, and the single for this album is on there as well. Prime Directive, and the album is The Fallout. Now, I was gonna do just the single at first because I couldn't find this album, and then I realized that the picture for it looks a little more like a skull, less like an alien for it, and I was like, oh man, I don't know, that might be teetering, but like the term Prime Directive comes from Star Trek. So I could have used it, but I went with the whole album. I'm glad I did because I really enjoyed this one. They're a mix of like Misfits-a-billy music and like Ramones core, and then they have metal guitars that just pop up here and there. I really think like I really like their stuff. I feel like their stuff has evolved. I feel like it was more of like that Misfits style, like in older stuff. And now like it's only like a couple songs that has that, and they're doing their own thing. Now, I don't know if this is technically a concept album, but they're like a concept band, right? So on their Bandcamp, Prime Directive originally landed on Earth circa 2005 in a dumpster behind Bernie's Distillery in Columbus, Ohio. They trudged inside, drank a few kegs of beer, then played 5 hours of Misfit covers. So that might be where that came from, where it started. After a year of repeating this behavior, they went back to their home planet to help with the repopulation effort. Then in 2013, decided it was time to invade Earth again. Resistance is futile. So
they should have heeded your friends in hell's advice.
So they definitely maybe that's why like the older stuff, and I don't know what came out when. Like there's dates on here, but I don't know if any of this is like reissued from when they were first around or whatever. But I will say, the Fallout is really good. I really enjoyed it. Again, it had a lot of blends, and it seems like they're coming into like I don't want to say it in a negative way, like a sound of their own, you know, but in a good way. Like I feel like if I heard another album, like nothing's gonna sound, I feel like, exactly like these guys now that they've got this mix of things that they do. Also, they did a fantastic cover of the Human League on this.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, really, really good. I was a big fan of that.
Super fun.
I think that may have been my deciding factor on why I brought the whole album, was because of that cover. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun listening to this thing all the way through. So, again, I don't quite know if if it's a concept album or not. But it's definitely like they definitely have like a shtick, right, with the aliens thing. Yeah. So, and they're aliens. We were talking about it before we started recording, but it's like a mixture of Mars Attacks and like the Space Invaders movie. So, big fan of it.
With a little bit of a punk edge to it. Yeah, dude, it was fun. It was definitely got that punk vibe. I could see where that Misfits thing comes in. I didn't feel like it was as dark as the Misfits, if that makes sense. Not that the Misfits are super dark, but you know what I mean? Like they've got that kind of like graveyard rockabilly feel, and this didn't feel more as graveyardy to me.
No. And there was only like one or two songs that kind of even.
Yeah. Definitely great energy. And you're right, dude. As soon as we got to that cover, because the cover comes later in the album, the last third of the album. And as soon as I heard it, dude, I was like, wait, what? And I was like, okay, because I love that song, dude. And so, obviously, right, we just talked about me loving that 80s dance music. But yeah, dude, as soon as I heard that cover, I was in for sure. I was like, all right, this is cool, this isn't bad. But then, when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, you won me over. This needs to be on Bandcamp so I could buy it. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree. I loved this. I'm always a sucker for a good 80s pop tune. Don't You Want Me is one of my favorites for sure. Of like 80s pop music. And they did it really well. Really polished record. It's I put it in the sort of, I was thinking of it as like almost more like melodic street punk or maybe like poppier street punk, but I think putting it in that Misfits realm of like it's got the tinge of the graveyard punkabilly, as you said, but it's like lighter than that. It's like a little more like it made me want to be in a big circle pit in a venue, just in a big circle pit, just like super fun, fast-paced, high energy, big hooks to kind of sing along to and stuff. Just like really fun.
I feel like this would be a fun band, real fun band. You know?
Yeah, I think both your picks this month, Trev, with the Grenadiers Shine and with this record, just like have that big, solid anthemic, like I want to go out to a punk show feel.
Yeah, yeah. I think, and maybe that, I don't know if that's subconsciously something that's going on with me at the moment, but. Yeah. I had a good time with these picks, and yeah. So.
Yeah, it's like me wanting to make movies in my head with like epic 19-minute song records. So same shit, different way.
So all right, well, let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll wrap this up. How about that?
Cool.
All right, we'll be right back. It's time for us to go. This was a lot of fun, a lot of good music. Some experimental stuff, we'll say. And now I gotta take a bunch of MDNA and go back and listen. It's been a lot of fun. I love you guys so much. I'm so happy we do this every month. Yeah. Let's start with our favorites from this month.
Cool.
All right, I'll go first. My favorite from this month. I mean, without picking one of my own, I try not to do that. I really like Do Crime. Do Crime is like it's really, really good stuff. I might try to reach out as well. I'll wait until you do it first.
No, go ahead. Get him, dude. Get him.
That's your turf. That's your
get
hood.
Get him.
But no, I really did. I really do enjoy.
Rope him in.
I really did enjoy that EP a lot. Like to the point, like I said, like I wanted more. I wish it just didn't stop. So that's my favorite from this month.
Nice. Not to pick mine, then I'm gonna have to go with Behold. I absolutely loved it. I loved just escaping and getting into that whole Stranger Things sci-fi world, but with that kind of, backwoods mountain living kind of feel to it, dude. It was awesome. It was quite a vibe. I loved it.
I'm being selfish. I'm picking mine. It was Behold. I fucking love this record, man.
Yeah, dude.
Have him on the show, Trev, if you can. Please. We want to know the story, dude. We want to know. We want to know the story behind it. We want to know.
Yeah.
What inspired you to write it? Because it was just great.
Yeah.
It's funny, Trev. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Jeff.
No, if I had to pick a second favorite, I think both of Trev's, but the Graniteers record, Shine, I think would have. If I wasn't picking my own, it would be that one this month. I think.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Nice. It's funny, Trev. You and I were talking recently about escaping and getting away from the real world anymore, and that Behold album just did it for me.
Yeah.
It was the nice escape.
You're like just much of a movie guy than you are a music person. So I totally see why that escape would do that for you. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool. Well, let's pick what we're gonna have everyone vote on for next month.
Cool.
I was gonna do something like St. Patrick's Day-esque or whatever, but I'm just gonna go with transportation.
Transportation.
Bands or albums that have like cars. It could be a cover with a car.
Trains.
Anything
planes.
to do with transportation. No idea why.
Spaceships.
So I think
No more aliens. No more space. No more spaceship.
oh yeah. So some
Discotheque Asylum 2.
The Reckoning.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so mine's transportation.
I am gonna go the easy route, the low hanging fruit. I'm gonna say Irish, whether it's Irish music or there's Irish in the title or whatever. Irish.
So not just like Celtic, Irish.
Irish.
Okay.
Why don't you guys say it again, just one more time?
Irish.
Okay. I'm gonna go with plants. Anything to do with plants, trees, vines, growth, flowers, just plants.
Nice.
Phyto, whatever it's called. I don't know what the science thing is. Plants.
Cool. All right. Those are our picks. Hey, you guys want to promote something? What do we got? What are we promoting this month?
Just the Struggle Dome.
Yeah, Struggle Dome's coming.
Ask a punk.
DM. Slide in the DMs.
Slide in the DMs about the Struggle Dome. I want to promote. I'm gonna really try to push the Patreon this year, and just a lot of the stuff we have going on over there. I'm gonna be changing the tiers soon to like do different things. And like I think we have a $2 tier as our lowest tier. I might drop one down to $1 for like early episodes, or like not even early episodes, just like no commercial episodes. I need to like start doing a little bit more with advertising and stuff like that, because shit's expensive. So we're gonna, for the podcast. So, and
there's a lot of shows on the Patreon. We got a few other shows.
There are a few other shows, and there's some more coming up. I also want to shout out. We brought back Underground Noise, which is like a radio, like a MTV News kind of thing. And I want to shout out Aria from Coffin Salesman for taking the helm on that. He is researching and recording this stuff now, and I'm just editing it and putting it up.
Nice.
So thank you, Aria, for that. Please check that out. It's an awesome 6-7 minute episode once a month that you can just listen to and see what's coming out, right? It's kind of adjacent to what the Turntable is, where we are talking about stuff that's recommending music for you. Aria's finding the new stuff that's dropping and bringing it to your ears, So other than that, this won't be out tomorrow, so never mind. This I won't talk about the live stream we're going to do tomorrow, but just kind of like see what we have going on, check out 716 The Sound. That's great.
Yeah.
Head over to Bandcamp and check out Jeff Bousquet's music.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a website too for my my photography work. If anybody wants to check it out.
Oh, sweet.
jrbimage.com.
Ah, well, all right. jrbimage.com.
Love
Got a
it.
portfolio up there, and you can buy some prints if you want. So.
I'll start directing people there when I do the thank yous in the podcast if you want. So
Sure.
Nice.
I will start doing that too. Oh, you know what? I want to hold on. I got to shout out Mr. P, Scott P, DCPC Live, which is he's a label that puts out live records. He records a band and then puts out these live records, and he does them in short runs. They're short runs. They're all live. Does a really good job with it. He started a podcast called Scene Support. Scene Support is for the unsung heroes of the music industry. So he's talking to everybody who's not a musician, promoters, journalists, stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah, like sound people, and all that stuff. He's doing a really good job with it. I'm helping him a little bit with it for like editing wise to try to help him get it, to keep his production schedule going and everything like that. And he does a lot of good things for the punk rock community as a whole. And I just want to shout him out because he does really good stuff. So head over to DCPC Live. I believe that's also his Instagram. That's where you're going to see the links for Scene Support, which is his podcast. Yeah, Scott's doing good stuff, like I said. So, and if you like live records, he does a really good job. I know I've been crucial on live records on this podcast, and he's never done me wrong. You know, I've gotten two Ann Beretta albums from him that he recorded. He recorded their last one. I have the last recorded record for Some Kind of Nightmare. He did that. And I got a bunch more. So it's really good stuff that he does over there. So people like him are important, you know.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
So that's it. Listen to the Struggling Artist podcast, and we'll see you guys in a month.
Woo.
See ya.
Peace.
So